Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about why you should not be buying presets if you're a beginner. Let's get into it. Now wait. Before you roast me in the comments, I'm well aware that this is barring me from ever releasing a preset pack ever to my 41 subscribers. I just want to brush over a few things and my philosophy behind presets and why they do not work, and I do not think they're a good tool for you to buy as a beginner. First of all, I'd like to get it straight out of the way. I do not blame any photographer or videographer using LUTs or presets or selling them. It is a great business model. I think it does really well, but I think there's a problem behind it if you're buying them as a beginner. And I actually think that in a way, they have more value to an experienced photographer and videographer than they would have for beginners. Let's go through the benefits and LUTs and presets. First of all, easy ads. Once you've installed these are good to go straight away, single click, and you've got an edited image straight out of the bag. Super simple, super easy, super convenient. Number two would be it's actually really easy for you guys to get an inside look of how other photographers edit. Once you've imported into Lightroom, you can see the exact edits that somebody would have done on that image to get that specific look. It is a really easy way if you see a photographer and you absolutely love their style, or a cinematographer, you love their style, to be able to break that down piece by piece, to be able to try and recreate that look. Hopefully not piece by piece, but get you a little bit closer to where you want to be as a photographer. For me personally, that is as far as the benefits go of LUTs. Now let's talk about some of the downsides. And again guys, just reiterating this so I don't get flamed on the internet. I have nothing against people selling them. I completely get it. If you're an established photographer, you get people asking how you edit all the time and how you create certain looks, and the easiest way for people to create that by themselves is by purchasing a preset pack or a LUT pack. So what are the downsides to these tools? Because most things in life are a double-edged sword. For presets and LUTs, I find them to actually be more of a hindrance to your growth than a boon to your growth. If you're just chucking a preset and a LUT on every single edit that you do, all you're doing is stunting your own growth. What I mean by that is, as soon as you chuck on that preset or that LUT and you go slap bang done, it looks good enough for me, you're not actually learning how to manipulate colors, you're not learning how different colors work together, you're not learning how to balance your highlights and shadows. All these really important things create great photography and great videography. They create better and different looks. You're shortchanging yourself and you're not going to learn that. So it's not going to allow you to get better and grow. And beyond that, if you're just using a preset every single time you use when you're editing photos or editing videos, you're actually going to not learn the capabilities of your camera, and it's going to stunt your growth out when you're shooting as well. So when you put a preset on, because it's all predetermined, it's just going to go slap bang, you know that there's images done and you can basically export it. What you're not going to see is the interaction between all the dials. You're not going to see how the shadows interfere with the highlights, how contrast affects, your whites and your blacks. You're not going to learn this and be able to say, I know when I shoot on my camera, it doesn't have great dynamic range, because when I edit it, I know it falls apart. You skip that sort of step-by-step process of getting an image from where it was to where you want it to be, because you just go from point A to Z straight away with a preset. So what you're doing is skipping your editing experience. And what's going to happen is, if you come to rely on these presets for your edits, eventually you will come across a situation where the presets are not suitable. That is another downside of presets. When you are creating the preset itself, what happens is you create the data from the exact image that you are editing. So if I was to create a preset right now, go into Lightroom, play with all the dials and go create preset, that preset is based off the presupposition of the data of the photo that I edited it on. So if I take that preset and then just copy and paste it straight onto another image, it's not going to look the same. You're not going to get the exact same look. That's the problem I find with presets. Yes, you can play with those dials and hone it in a little bit and create the look generally and create a sort of nice scope for you to work within, but if you're someone that's always relied on presets, you are not going to have the knowledge to be able to do that skillfully, masterfully, and to be able to make changes that look true to what the original preset was, if that's the look you're going for. So when you're taking your camera out onto shoots, you are not going to know, well, I need to bump up my ISO, I need to drop this shutter, I need to do this, I need to do that, because I know the edit that I have planned for these photos, for this shoot, is not going to be compatible with what I'm taking right now. Whereas if you don't have that editing knowledge and that editing history behind you, because you've just been relying on your presets, you won't know that when you're on set, and you won't find out until you come back later and you slap those presets onto your photos, slap those LUTs on your videos, that this looks like shit and this does not look good at all. That is one of the problems with presets. And that leads me to why it's almost more beneficial for experienced photographers and videographers / filmmakers to use LUTs than it is for beginners. So when I slap on a LUT now, and I have bought lots of preset packs over the years just because I really admire some photographers' looks and I actually genuinely wanted to know how to edit like them. What I do now is because I've fumbled and stumbled and basically tripped over myself for long enough to be able to create an editing style that I enjoy, now I can get to the point where I can chuck on someone else's preset into my work and manipulate it in a sense that makes that image look good, kind of stay true to what they're doing, but also drift towards my own style. And I think that's a very important thing to keep in mind as well. You don't want to be someone else. You don't want to be another videographer or photographer. You want to be you. You want to develop your style. I think that's one of the most awesome things about what we do as creatives, is about creating your own style, creating something that speaks to you and speaks to others. It is so much more rewarding when you create a piece of art and it's all you. You press that shutter, you uploaded those files, you did that edit, you didn't rely on someone's presets, you send that out into the world and people really reciprocate with that and people really love that work. That's all you, and that's a fucking awesome feeling, and that's something we should all be chasing as creatives. So I think when you're using the presets, you should shortchange that. Again, nothing against presets. I've used them. I have people's presets packs baked into my Lightroom, so I'm not saying never buy them. They can be a learning tool. You just wouldn't want to rely on them so much to the point where you don't actually know how to edit properly. Gone at tenfold. For me, I know a big learning curve was when I really dived into my color grading, creating my own LUTs. I found LUTs especially disappointing compared to presets for photos. LUTs for videos are especially disappointing. You know, you'd always buy these preset packs and you know it'll be these moody tones or all these different things, and it just doesn't work. Video is just not as flexible as photos when it comes to the editing process for color grading. It's really hard to dial in that look if you're just using a LUT because it doesn't have the flexibility of presets. So should you never buy preset packs? No, you should buy preset packs. You should do that if you really admire a photographer and you want to create their style. If you can't find any resources actually going to teach you how to develop that style, and what I mean by that is you can buy the presets, break them down and see how they've edited the images. When you're looking at the tone curve, you're looking at how they've touched each slider, what they've done with the clarity, with the texture, all those different facets that go into changing a photo preset. With your LUTs, you can't really do much because for most programs, you just slap it on and it just goes in there and you can't actually see the interaction that they've done through each slider, which is a little bit disappointing, but you know, I think you're better off with video for just developing your own LUTs if you can. See, I'd only use a LUT in a situation like this, which for a lot of run and gun shooters is not very practical. This is a studio setup, so I know that the lighting is going to be the same every single time I step into this studio. So I can use a LUT, build my own LUT, and then use it every time, just slap it on, and I know it's going to be okay. And it's going to be exactly what I'm looking for. But even so, I still just build my own color grade through my videos. Point being is, guys, do not shortchange yourself. Do not shortchange your progress. I think it's so easy to go for that quick fix. You smack something on, it looks great, looks really good, but what that is essentially going to do, it's going to get you from A to B really quick, but then you'll struggle from B to Z. That end point for wherever you want to aim for being the photographer or videographer you want to be is going to take so much longer to get to because you've shortchanged those steps, and rather than learning that stuff along the way, you're going to have to retroactively work backwards to correct mistakes in your workflow that have been patched up by these different systems. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with presets, just be careful what you're using. They are a tool, but like anything, you don't want to rely too heavily on any one tool that you are using. You want to use all of them, but your best tool and your biggest tool you always want to be your knowledge and your skill set. So who are presets and LUTs right for? Honestly, I genuinely believe they're way better for people that are more experienced in the field because they have the technical knowledge to break down how these things are interacting with their images. They're going to be able to see their raw data and say, well, I know this preset's going to work better for it. You know, I know this other preset might work better for this photo, or, you know, preset B might work better for this photo. They're going to be able to judge it better and create better results with it because they're more knowledgeable at how the craft works, how the data is interpreted by the computer, and how the LUT and the preset affect that. So for me, I genuinely believe that more advanced or intermediate photographers and videographers get way more out of LUTs and presets than a beginner does. And for me, like I said, it just shortchanges you. So go through the process, guys, get on that grind. Do the shit that isn't that fun to do, like struggling to edit an image, editing something and thinking that looks fucking nothing like I hoped, but You know, you got to go through 1,000 of those images, and then all of a sudden you're going to take one absolute banger, and your motivation is going to be right up here, sky high, and you're going to feel fucking good about yourself. And that's what we all chase, and that's what we all crave. And it just feels better to create something that resonates with people that you know is all you. This is all your idea, all your work, and it just feels good to be like that. Anyway, guys, that's my little rant. Sorry if I rubbed anyone the wrong way. So aware that I can never release a preset pack ever in my life now, but I just want to get that off my chest. It's just something I believe in. Stage 4 lockdown got extended today in Melbourne, which is a bit of a bummer, so I still can't go out and shoot as much as I'd love to take you guys on a few more POV things, but what can you do? Maybe I'll take you on a POV of my girlfriend and I taking photos at the beach or some shit. I don't know. I'll think of something. Thanks so much, guys. Speak to you soon. Cheers.